going to keep doing this. I think it's beneath me. The truth was put out there. You hear my side and that person's side. And here we are having to address it yet again.
For years, the Christie family looked like the definition of loyalty and unity. Fans who watched Basketball Wives believed they were seeing a real love story play out on screen. Jackie Christie was always loud, fearless, and unapologetically protective of her marriage to former NBA player Doug Christie. She talked constantly about loyalty, about honesty, about family sticking together no matter what. But now, everything people believed about the Christie family is being questioned, because a quiet decision made by their daughter, Chantel Christie, has opened a door that might never close again. It started with something simple, a DNA test. At first, it seemed harmless, just a personal search for answers that many people go through every day. But when those test results came back, they didn't just answer a question, they shattered a story that had been told for decades. Suddenly, the internet exploded with rumors, leaked documents, and emotional reactions. Fans who once admired the Christie family are now asking the same question. Was the entire story they showed the world built on a lie? Because according to the DNA results Chantel received, the man she believed was her father for most of her life may not actually be her biological dad. And if that's true, it means the Christie family has been carrying a secret for more than 20 years. What nobody expected was how deep the truth would go. To understand why this moment is so shocking, you have to go back to the beginning of the Christie family story. Long before reality television, before social media debates, and before family drama played out in front of millions of viewers, Jackie Christie was simply a young woman trying to build a life around the fast-paced world of professional basketball. When Jackie met Doug Christie in the early 1990s, their relationship moved quickly. Doug was rising through the ranks of the NBA, and Jackie became known as the fiercely protective partner who stood beside him through every trade, every headline, and every locker room rumor.
Through that, Jackie and her daughter's relationship was strained. I didn't know to the extent or the degree.
Like the damage that she did to me and my sister's relationship, she won't even take accountability for. At this point, it's just like a fake, I have to keep talking to you so you won't go talk about me on Twitter and talk about me on Facebook and
So you
tell
think
your side of the
genuinely
story.
she doesn't care?
Why else would you speak about your daughter like this?
Their love story wasn't always smooth. Like many couples living in the spotlight, they faced criticism, gossip, and speculation about their relationship. But Jackie fought hard to control the narrative. She made sure people knew one thing clearly: family came first. Over time, the couple built an image that fans couldn't ignore. Jackie was bold, emotional, and sometimes controversial, but she was also deeply committed to protecting her husband and children. When Basketball Wives premiered, Jackie quickly became one of the most talked about personalities on the show. She wasn't afraid of confrontation. She spoke loudly, defended her marriage fiercely, and never hesitated to call out anyone she believed threatened her family. But behind the cameras, life wasn't always as perfect as it appeared. Their daughter, Chantel, grew up watching her parents navigate fame, criticism, and the constant attention that came with reality television. To the public, she was Doug Christie's daughter. That's how she was introduced on TV, in interviews, and across social media. Doug treated her like his child. He attended her games, supported her dreams, and proudly stood beside her at public events. For most people watching, there was no reason to question anything. But sometimes, the quietest questions live inside the people closest to the story. As Chantel grew older, small doubts began to creep in. They weren't loud accusations or dramatic confrontations, just subtle moments where things didn't quite make sense. Sometimes it was a comment from a relative. Other times it was a rumor whispered in passing, and every once in a while it was the simple feeling that something about her story didn't fully add up.
I need to finish what I started, and that's the only reason that I ever even stepped onto the sideline from where I was at initially. because I had to exercise some demons for myself. But more than anything is when you hear the narratives that are written by people who are not here and just have random stuff to say, it irks me because they don't know.
At first, Chantel ignored those thoughts. After all, questioning your own family history can feel like opening a door you might not be ready to walk through. But the curiosity never completely disappeared. Years passed. Chantel built her own life, her own identity, and her own following online. Yet the quiet question remained somewhere in the background. Who is my real father? Eventually, curiosity turned into determination. Instead of asking more questions or starting a family argument, Chantel decided to search for answers in the simplest way possible. She ordered a DNA test. At first, nobody outside her closest circle even knew she had taken it. There were no announcements, no dramatic social media posts, and no reality TV cameras documenting the moment. It was just a daughter searching for clarity. But when the results came back, everything changed, because the DNA report didn't match what Chantel had been told her entire life. The man listed as her father in public records, Doug Christie, did not appear as a biological match. And suddenly, the quiet curiosity that had followed Chantel for years turned into something much bigger: shock, confusion, and a truth that might completely rewrite the Christie family history. But here's where the story becomes even more complicated. When Chantel first saw the results, she didn't rush to social media or the press. Instead, she reportedly approached her mother privately. Sources close to the family say the conversation that followed was tense, emotional, and deeply uncomfortable.
I was doing nothing but telling the truth. I heard her say it, and I repeated it. I'm grown, and I do what I want. You know who I am. I'm Jackie Christie. That ain't gonna change.
At first, Jackie allegedly dismissed the results. She reportedly insisted the test must have been wrong or incomplete, but Chantel wasn't convinced, so she decided to take another test. A second analysis confirmed the same thing. Doug Christie was not her biological father. At that point, the situation could no longer be ignored. According to insiders, Chantel confronted her mother again, this time demanding the truth. And that's when a name entered the conversation.
A man Jackie had known years earlier, someone who had once been part of their social circle during Doug's early basketball career. The identity of this man quickly became the center of online speculation. Some fans pointed to old photos from the Sacramento basketball scene in the early 2000s. Others began digging through archived interviews, searching for clues. But what truly fueled the fire was what happened next. Word of Chantel's DNA discovery somehow leaked online. Within hours, blogs and social media pages started sharing the story. Fans who once admired Jackie Christie began re-watching old clips from Basketball Wives, searching for moments that might hint at hidden tension. Suddenly, scenes that once seemed ordinary started to look different. Moments where Jackie avoided questions about Chantel's early childhood. Comments where she changed the subject whenever family history came up. At the time, viewers thought it was just reality TV editing, but now those scenes felt like pieces of a much larger puzzle.
These lunatic, jughead, simple bitches had the audacity to say, what?
That you were caught prostituting some back in 1987 or something back in the day.
Ask me, bitch, and I'll tell you no. I done a lot, okay? But in prostitution ain't one.
Meanwhile, Doug Christie reportedly learned about the DNA results around the same time the public did. Imagine believing you were someone's father for decades, only to discover the truth through rumors spreading across the internet. People close to Doug say the news hit him hard. He had raised Chantel as his own daughter. He had been there for birthdays, graduations, and milestones that shape a child's life. To him, the bond was real. Biology had never been part of the conversation, but the revelation forced everyone involved to confront a painful reality. Some insiders claim Doug stepped away quietly to process everything privately. Others say he tried reaching out to Chantel directly to reassure her that his love for her hadn't changed. Still, the emotional weight of the situation was impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Jackie Christie found herself facing intense public criticism. Fans began questioning everything they thought they knew about her. For years, Jackie had built her reputation on honesty, loyalty, and protecting her family.
Now, critics were asking whether she had hidden the truth for decades. Some supporters defended her, arguing that complicated relationships and difficult decisions happen in every family. Others were far less sympathetic. They wanted answers. As more rumors spread online, another twist began circulating. Reports suggested the man believed to be Chantel's biological father had recently been contacted and informed about the DNA results. According to several sources, he was shocked. He allegedly had no idea he might have a daughter, and unlike the dramatic confrontations viewers are used to seeing on reality TV, his reported response was quiet and surprisingly calm. Instead of denying the possibility, he simply said he was willing to take a DNA test himself if Chantel wanted confirmation. That moment changed the tone of the entire situation, because suddenly this wasn't just about scandal, it was about identity, about a young woman discovering the truth about where she came from, about a man learning he might have a daughter he never knew existed, and about a family struggling to hold itself together while the world watched. When Chantel finally spoke publicly about the situation, her message was emotional but measured. She explained that her decision to take the DNA test wasn't about hurting anyone. It wasn't about exposing secrets or creating headlines. She simply wanted the truth. For many viewers, that honesty made the story even more heartbreaking, because at its core, this wasn't just celebrity drama, it was a daughter searching for answers about her own life. The emotional fallout from the revelation has been enormous. Inside the Christie family, relationships are reportedly strained. Conversations that once felt easy are now filled with complicated emotions. For Doug Christie, the situation has forced him to confront a painful mix of love and betrayal. Even if biology says something different, the years he spent raising Chantel can't simply be erased. For Jackie Christie, the pressure has been intense. Public figures are used to criticism, but few situations cut as deeply as questions about family and truth. And for Chantel, the journey has only just begun. Discovering unexpected DNA results can feel like having your entire personal history rewritten overnight. Suddenly, memories, relationships, and identity all look different. Some people in her position might have chosen to stay silent, to keep the results private and avoid public attention. But Chantel chose to face the truth head-on, and that decision has sparked a conversation far bigger than the Christie family alone. Across social media, thousands of people are sharing their own stories about unexpected DNA discoveries. Many say they understand exactly what Chantel is going through, because in today's world, where genetic testing has become so accessible, stories like this are happening more often than people realize. Families discover secrets, hidden relationships surface, and sometimes the truth changes everything. Still, one thing remains clear. The Christie family story isn't finished yet. There are still unanswered questions, still conversations that need to happen behind closed doors. Will Jackie eventually explain the full story? Will Doug and Chantel rebuild their relationship despite the shock? And will the man believed to be Chantel's biological father confirm the connection through his own DNA test? Right now, nobody knows exactly how this story will end, but one lesson has already become impossible to ignore. Truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, no matter how long it stays hidden. For years, the Christie family built a public image of strength and loyalty that fans admired. But behind every reality TV storyline are real people with complicated histories. Sometimes those histories stay buried forever, and sometimes a simple DNA test changes everything. So as this story continues to unfold, people everywhere are watching closely, because this isn't just about celebrity gossip anymore. It's about identity, it's about family, and it's about what happens when the truth finally comes out after years of silence. One thing is certain, the conversation surrounding the Christie family is far from over. And if recent events have proven anything, it's that the next chapter could reveal even more surprises than the last.